last weekend and this weekend. She took off with a carload of stuff for donations, so I
Oh,
didn't
that's
have to make
nice.
3 trips in my little Volkswagen.
That's really nice. I didn't know you drove a Volkswagen. What kind of Volkswagen is it?
A Golf.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, there everybody's coming in.
There we go. Surprised we got in because it starts at
Yeah,
7
we got
p.m.
in early. What happened?
Woohoo!
Well, yeah. So you guys are getting out early because, of course, we want to have you out in time for the premiere, the Thanksgiving postcard. But I've been sharing with the other sectionals tonight. I feel like I'm getting wind of just some general fatigue. I don't think it's fatigue with SoCo. I think it's just the fatigue of, how much time do we spend in front of these screens, and so this is our last Sunday. I thought we'll shorten things up tonight and give folks a little extra time. We are certainly, we're well over the crest of our workload wave. We are on, the backside of that. We're on the downslope. Obviously, this is our last Sunday, so we're going to gain a lot of time back to ourselves. We continue to shed repertoire, right? As we make these recordings, we have fewer and fewer pieces that we have to worry about. It's a very different semester. We're not building towards some large culminating event. We've already done the majority of our work, and we're letting those things kind of, fall by the wayside. So I do want folks to have a moment to kind of rejuvenate, rediscover, the joy of what we do here, even in this bizarre state, because like tonight, the Thanksgiving postcard is so good. I was thrilled when I heard it. The thing that I was most happy about, which is a total nerd thing, is at the end of Thanksgiving song, the final retard is so good. It sounds like you're all in a room together. And, which is, I mean, it's just so neat that we could have this push and pull of tempo, because we purposely picked a lot of music this semester that doesn't do that, because we're trying to keep it simple and accessible in the virtual realm, right? So it was so nice to have that retard and just have, I mean, it really stuck out to me as that was really well done. And of course, you weren't all in a room together. You were all in many different places at many different times. So it just shows the way you really paid attention to, what you see, what you heard. So yeah, very happy with all of that. So definitely enjoy that. In fact, guys, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm not going to do one thing with you that I did with everybody else, because I know it's going very well for you. And I know, you've got the melody. So we're not going to go through the holiday jazz trio tonight. We'll have plenty of time to do that. But with you, I want to do two things. And at the end of that, you're going to be done plenty early, but that's fine. You'll have a chance to pour yourself a scotch and listen to the premiere. Really share this Thanksgiving postcard. So many of us are not going to be having Thanksgivings like we thought we would. I mean, there are governors of Democrat and Republican, governors in this country who are begging people not to hold, these gatherings. I just read up on North Dakota, South Dakota, what's going on there. It's just sad. So it's going to be a very different holiday. So share this with people. Ask them to participate in the fundraiser, but it's okay if they don't. Still share it with them. I think it'll be meaningful. I'm going to be sharing it with my family, the people that I won't be seeing in person, as a way of saying, hey, thinking of you at this time. So it looks like we have light at the end of the tunnel, which is very exciting, but it's going to take a while to get here. So anyway, lots on all of our minds right now, but we'll have a good session here. We'll get a few things done, and I'll send you on your way. And this is our last Sunday together, so that's kind of fun. I actually just want to dive right in with the singing. We'll start out here in a very comfortable range for you all. I don't think it's going to cause any issues. I want to start. We'll start in Christmas tonight, and I want to go to "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Obviously, you know, you're, for the most part, you're the melody here. I will touch on a couple of details. For some reason, I feel bad. I didn't prepare this score as well as I should. So there's a couple notes I want to give you tonight, not too many, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I want to work this backwards. So let's start on page 5, please. Let's start on page 5. Here we are. Etc. You know the melody, of course. Let's just go ahead and sing through this. This will be our warm-up as well as our obviously working on some repertoire here. But here we go. And this is on page 5, measure 29. Here we go. 1, 2, go. Obviously, one of the things that's unique to you at the end here, we want to make sure we've got a beautiful sustained note, good vowel, good tone, good pitch. So as you're on this last page, now you've got a chance to breathe, right? Right before measure 43. So you'll have a chance to breathe. But if it ends up being too long, really stagger breathe well. And this is not a moment where you can, you know, it's not 4 measures of all these different notes and rhythms and you can leave one out. You've got to put on a clinic of how to sing this pitch. And come right back in all on the same. If you need to stagger breathe, you may not need to, but if you need to, because we got to sustain. This is a tricky little moment. When you stagger breathe in the middle of a sustained note, please don't change your mouth shape. Okay? No. Oh, just breathe through the same vowel that you have and then come right back in. You know, when you change your mouth shape, you change your vowel, you change your, and that can change intonation, right? Even singing the same pitch, it may change exactly where you are in the center of that pitch. So if you need to stagger breathe there, just make sure you're very careful about it because we don't want to hear folks coming in and out. One little note that I do want to point out for you in this segment that we just sang, at the top of page 7, the second measure, when you have that little moment, if you've spent time with the recording, you know there's a tenuto there. There's the slightest elongation of that downbeat on the word merry. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I mean, it's just a cool chord. And you guys are up there high. You just want to have a little bit of elongation. But listen to the recording. You'll see it's not this huge, it's not a fermata. It's just a little emphasis and we keep going. So I'm just drawing that to your attention now. I suspect there probably aren't any real questions with that segment, right? I mean, you're essentially the melody the whole time. Are there any questions? Okay, let's back up to where you have a little bit of harmony. Let's back up to page 4. One thing I want to point out to you at the top of 4, you see measure 21, that's the beginning of the B section. It says più mosso, faster, more motion, faster. the thing I want to point out is measure 20 has an accelerando. Now, you're just holding on to a whole note, but measure 20 has an accelerando. So the downbeat of 21 will get there before you expect. So I'm just telling you so you're not surprised. I mean, obviously, if we were in the same room together, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because we're singing along with this fixed recording that I made back in, I don't know, July or August, I just want to make sure that you realize that so you're not caught off guard. So the downbeat of 21 will come a little earlier than you expect. Let's sing through here. We'll just start right at 21. Here's what's going on. Straightforward, and then you take over the melody. Let's just go through this segment here. 21, the top of 4. And 1, 2, go. Okay. Now, I'm going on to the next 4 quarter notes there at 29, because one thing I want to say generally about this piece, there is so much push and pull of tempo that when we restart, like we just came out of a faster section and then we had a retard, at 29, when we restart, and every time we do this in the piece, be very conscious of where you are placing your quarter notes in terms of tempo. So, they're very legato, they're connected, but be very precise. In fact, if you listen to the sample recording of this piece, they're kind of all over the road at those moments. And it's not a great example. I mean, it probably was some studio group who looked at it for 5 minutes and sang it. I mean, I'm not giving them too hard a time, but we don't want to do that. We want it to be someday, soon will, and perfectly together. So one thing I want to encourage you to do to help you with that is subdivide. So you're singing quarter notes. Quarter notes followed by eighth notes. Don't think eighth notes just when you have to sing them. Think them all the time in this piece. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That will help you line up the quarter notes. If you think that in your mind, it will help you line those things up. Obviously, go with what you see, go with what you hear on the recording when you're making your own recording, but watch out for those moments so we're really together. It's easy for those just to kind of be apart. And I mean, it doesn't ruin anything, but it chips away at the beauty. Any questions about that B section on page 4? You have, 4 measures of a little harmony. Any questions? Yep, Jackie?
I think normally you would have this marked, but I'm assuming you definitely don't want us to breathe in like measure 26, where we're.
Yes, you're exactly right. Carry that all the way through. That's your longest phrase probably of the whole piece. Yeah. Faithful friends who were dear to us will be near to us. Yes, absolutely. Carry through. Anything else about this? All right. Let's back up to the beginning. I just want to go through it. I don't think there are really any issues, but I do want to touch base. For the most part in this piece, with the exception of what we just talked about, most of this piece for you is either 2 measures or 4 measures, and there's some sort of a little thing at the end of that, breath, something. So this piece, it's very rare that we just go with the metronome, okay? That's why we're doing this at the end. And that's why I love Thanksgiving songs so much, because you demonstrated that in this virtual world where we're all separate, you really can do it well. Here we go from the beginning. We have a little introduction with a little push and pull of tempo, and then at 5, we're off and running. Here's what it sounds like at the beginning. Etc. So here we go. 1, 2. Here. All right, and we'll pause there. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of that accelerando as best you can. So again, you hear those moments where we restart the tempo, right? And it's always going to be the second quarter note. The second quarter note is going to be the issue. You'll be settled by the third, but the second one is where we can have a little tear. If you haven't really paid attention to these lyrics, I would encourage you to do so. I've mentioned a few times, we're singing the Judy Garland lyrics from the movie. These are not the lyrics that you hear 9 times out of 10. If you listen to the Christmas channel on Sirius XM, like I'm already doing, I am not ashamed to say, you'll hear different lyrics because the Judy Garland lyrics were deemed too sad. But this whole song is about next year. It's not about this year. It's about next year things will be better. And that's, that's why we're singing these words in 2020. If 2020 was not what 2020 is, we might sing the more common words. So, pay attention to that. Maybe Google them and compare them. But there's a real poignancy here. There's a real melancholy that I think is utterly appropriate. It's good to have the theme from Elf, but it's also good to have this piece. Any questions before we move on? Joe.
I think you mean me. The section 21, maybe I missed it, but from 21 through 24, you just want the transitions from oohs to ahs to be real smooth, very legato. I'm assuming you don't want a glottal to change.
Well, just the slightest. I think when you're dealing with oohs and ahs, it's a great question, Joe. When you're dealing with these oohs and ahs, I think the slightest glottal just provides clarity. Okay? It's very rare that I would want to go ooh, because you get that wah, right? When you change your mouth shape, you just can't help but get a little bit of a wah thing.
Yeah.
Great question. But I would say when we're singing these instrumental backup sounds, generally the slightest glottal, but I'm talking very gentle, okay? Just what you feel like is enough to add clarity of rhythm. It's a great question. Twyla, did you have a question too?
I just had a comment. When I first read through the lyrics, I thought we as a chorus changed them, but now you saying that there's another version of it, I was like, this is weird.
Well, this is not us changing it. I mean, I did write them into the score, but I could, how I got introduced to this? James Taylor. I heard an interview with James Taylor. He did a Christmas album recently. Now, it might be 10 years now. Sure. But he did an album recently with Christmas music. And I think I heard him on NPR. He was talking about going back to the Judy Garland lyrics. And so I was like, well, what's that all about? So anyway, yeah, we are singing something different, but no, I didn't change them. These are actually, well, and the story is Judy Garland demanded they be changed for her because the original version was even sadder. And she
Ooh.
refused to sing it in the movie. She's like, people will hate this song. So yeah, so there's been at least 3 versions, and we only know really the second and third.
Sure. Cool.
Great. You learned something here. It's exciting. So I want to go to, I do want to go to Hanukkah. Okay, I want to go to Hanukkah with you. Let's go to Hanukkah. Let's go to Funky Dreidel. It's good to keep this piece out in front of us. This is a big sing. I want to do this twice, and then we're calling it a day. Okay, so let's get 2. I want to play through with the piano. Then we're going to go to the recording. So let's go through this. First with me, and then we'll go to the recording, and then I will release you for your premiere party. Let me check my tempo. Get the funk going. All right. I'm going to start right on the downbeat of the piece. You obviously come in on beat 3. I'll try to do some of these things to help you out. So here we are. 1, 2, 3. So, doing good? When you make your recording, guys, and you just finish up that moment on page 14, this whole business, and you have a beautiful release, don't squelch it, right? Just release, great, oh, release it on that downbeat. It's okay to have a little cockiness in your face when you're done with that, okay? That's a little drum corps moment. That's a little soprano playing real high. It's okay to be like, yeah, we just did that. Thank you. Okay. So find the right amount of cockiness. But if we were in a concert, right, that's a moment where you feel really good to be a lead soprano, and that's totally fine. So enjoy that moment. Let's do it once with the recording just to keep it out in front of us, and we will be done. Once with the recording. All right, let me share this up. Here we go.
Okay.
right. Okay, we're getting close on this one. I mean, there's not much more time to spend. Um, you know, don't forget all the little details. I mean, we get so focused on notes and rhythms. You know, don't forget about your dynamics. Once you get to measure 25, you pretty much are the piece, okay? But there's even that little moment where we've got to respect the second altos, right? That's over there on page 9. Even though you have a really cool part, this whole, and by no means is that unimportant, but make sure that you're saying, okay, here we want the second altos to shine, and they're very low, right? So we just got to make sure we don't overpower them. So, you know, respect all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, this piece is kind of a feature for you all. We'll do it again once we're together. There are 2 other pieces in this set that are really, really beautiful. So we'll do this again in the future. Funky Dreidel will not go away. Any questions on it?
I
All
have
right.
one. So I communicated with Zonia, and you were on the email about her putting your directing with our section leaders singing. And she said she would. I haven't looked for it.
Okay.
But do you know anything about that?
I'll follow up. If she said she would, Zonia is usually great about doing things right away.
Yeah.
You know, she's actually moved to North Carolina. I don't know if folks know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the move didn't interrupt things. So I'll double check, and you can take a peek at the list. But yeah, I'm sure if it's not up today, it'll be up, you know, very, very soon.
Okay.
This recording is due what, in a couple of weeks, I think. Is that it? I think it's the 28th or something, right? Something like that.
Let's do the 23rd.
Yeah.
The 23rd. So 1 week. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll double check with Zonia, but that should be up pretty quick. Any other questions? Okay, so we are this close. So find some time to relax, find some time to rekindle your love of music, even in this bizarre little setup. Pour yourself a scotch, enjoy the premiere tonight, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Yay, this is our last Sunday. Whee! Okay. I like you all, but I'm still hanging up. See you later. Bye.
It's your night tonight, Jackie. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh, my, yeah. I've already talked with Jackie. Wait till you hear. Fantastic. So, see ya.
Yeah.